I said I would give this a try, so we're trying something new for the channel, and after Buck 2016, there definitely was a lot that happened off camera rather than on camera. We got a lot of this good stuff on camera, but there were some things that just happened so spontaneously they couldn't be caught. And one of them was actually a more frustrating tale than anything else, as it involved me, David and Jane after the con had wrapped up, and, well, me and David both had a lot of things that we needed to get back to our respective countries undamaged. Obviously I was flying to Spain, he was flying to Ireland, and we both had quite, as you've seen from the merch video, I had a few and he has a few prints. And the big trouble was these.
As anyone that was at Buck knows, one of the biggest problems was the lack of bags. And I know you can't blame anyone for this, but as all con goers know and have probably experienced, large merch plus no bag to carry it in equals awkward times. Now, that was only the first problem me and David ran into. Arguably our own fault for not bringing a bag for life or popping into Asda for getting one though. So yeah, it was our own fault that our wallets were bigger than our hands. Throughout the duration of the con, we had to make a few trips back to the hotel to drop merch off before heading back, which probably took about 15 minutes each way. Fun times. One picture David had bought that made the con a minefield was a one-of-a-kind hand-drawn picture of King Sombra. Non-flexible and rigid, so bending, water damage, smudging, and basically any form of contact became a giant no-no for him. Although, seeing him looking like a hostile cat defending food was quite funny. I, on the other hand, had a selection of A4 prints that needed to be dropped off as well. But fortunately for me, they were in a nice clear plastic bag, so all was well. Well, until we got to the halfway mark. Then lo and behold, the British weather decided it hated David and began to drizzle. So, cue panic mode for him. Needless to say, I've never seen him move faster than in this one instance to protect his beloved king. But, as said at the beginning, the biggest escapade occurred at the end of the con. All was fine, small items of merch were bought, deposited back, and they could easily be stored away. However, I had my large Wonderbolt print, and David had acquired a Sunset Shimmer print. And at this point after the con, none of the vendors had cardboard tubes to put prints in. Hindsight truly was against us, as we had had the chance to buy them earlier, and foolishly we passed by saying, we'll get them later. Ha! Clearly not. As the con finished late at night, none of the shops were actually open, so we decided to get them the next day from Asda. As we'd have been told by one of the vendors, they still sell them there. Hopeful, we set off the next afternoon. After we'd had to attend the post-con breakfast meetup at the expansive Trafford Centre. Now, normally this wouldn't be an issue. However, we still had to check out of our hotel after solving this issue, then get to the airport, which was an hour away, as well as not rudely miss saying goodbye to all our friends. And still, before all of this, we had to find these elusive tubes. Breakfast was a bittersweet mixture of good food and goodbyes. And finally me, David, and Jane, who had joined us at this point, ventured forth to find the promised treasure, scouring Asda from top to bottom, only to be told by a shop assistant that they'd all been bought. Yeah, I know. Countless bronies before us probably had the exact same idea and had beat us to the punch. We felt a little downtrodden by this, but every cloud has a silver lining. The shop assistant reminded us that WH Smith's usually carries a large array of postage supplies, and so once more onto the breach, we headed back to the Trafford complex to try and find the shop, all the while looking at and racing the clock. Fortunately, we found WH Smith without much hassle, and so we set to scouring the place from top to bottom, as we did with Asda. Alas, history was to repeat itself, and we just got the response, "Sorry, but we're all out." Jeez. Right now, I swear I would have sold David just to find one of these tubes. It was getting that desperate. Although, comes the drawn-out response from the assistant, the post office might have some. Hallelujah! Yet another fetch quest, now rivaling that of the reuniting Cafe and Anjou quest. But we couldn't give up, so again, we trudge off. Now at this stage, Jane was tired of following us around and broke away, choosing now to stay behind to wait for us. So, me and David, the dynamic duo, set forth to the Office of Post, which, believe it or not, was actually hidden away around a corner no one would think to look behind. So, 30 more minutes go past before we actually manage to pinpoint it. Now, as we search and scour, we begin to give up heart. I mean, we couldn't find it no matter where we looked. We could find plastic film, we could find duct tape, we found string, we found paper bags, we found cardboard sheets, but we couldn't find tubes. We even resolved just to go back to Asda, buy a pack of toilet rolls, and then discard all the tissue just to make temporary tubes for the both of us. And as we actually began to give up and leave, David just about managed to spot some tubes resting in a corner bin. And so, rejoice! We finally had our coveted print tubes, and at just 30 pence each, we couldn't be happier. Now we just had the challenge of finding Jane, getting back to the hotel, now packing our prints away into tubes, before packing them in our cases, all in the space of 35 minutes. Fortunately though, the journey back wasn't as hectic as before. And luckily, after checkout, we actually had 3 hours between then and when we had to be at the airport to rest.
And so, me and David actually managed to get our tubes, relax for a while, actually say goodbye to a few more of our friends who turned up, as well as basically have a rest before we got to the airport. Unfortunately, when we got to the airport, we had a slight delay as it was absolutely packed. Then we had a 3-hour wait on top of the 3 hours between getting these and the airport run itself before our flight took off, so guess we rushed around for nothing, but hey, we managed to get our tubes and that's all we wanted. And that's just one of the con stories of Buck 2016. Now I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like, subscribe and comment down below, and as well as everything else coming your way, there might be a few more con stories too. So, until next time, farewell.